What's up, Connor? Hi, I'm Ian. Welcome to Real Talk, KTIG's talk show. In today's show, we're here with three students who are part of the ROTC here at school. So stay tuned for today's edition of Real Talk. Once again, we would like to welcome our special guest to today's show. So, to start off, can you guys introduce yourself, starting with you?
I am Cadet Sergeant Nathan Morse.
I'm Cadet Captain Jeffrey Chapman.
I'm Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Omar Cabello.
And so, Omar, what is your position in ROTC?
My position is the battalion commander, so essentially I oversee almost everything that goes on in the program, make sure everything's on track.
Jeffrey?
I am the Battalion S3, which means I'm responsible for making our learning plans for the week.
And I am a platoon sergeant, which means that I take a platoon, which would be like 4th period, for instance, and I go out and I train with them. I go marching, PT, work with ranks, that kind of thing.
And so, Nate, how long have you been in ROTC?
2 years.
Jeffrey?
4 years.
I've been in for 4 years as well.
And so, Jeffrey, how did you become interested in ROTC?
Well, originally I was in band coming into high school. I've done it for a couple years before then. And then that was really when I decided I wanted to join the military. So I was, hey, that's an RTC unit here. Let's go check them out. And it kind of spiraled out from there.
So same question to you, Omar?
Originally I got interested from my brothers because they both went to this high school and they both were in the ROTC program for some time. And, you know, as a child, I'd always see them come home with a uniform, and I always thought that was kind of interesting. So, you know, eventually freshman year came around and I joined.
Same with you, Nate?
Well, I was in a gym, actually, when I first came to the school, and I would see, like, people in ROTC walking around in their uniforms and stuff, and I thought that just looked really cool and just, frankly, a lot more fun than what I was doing previously. And so decided to join. Loved it ever since.
And so can you explain what the process was for joining ROTC?
Pretty simple. I just went and talked to my counselor, and then I got in. It took a little bit to get, like, issued a uniform and that kind of thing, but yeah, it's a pretty smooth process.
So Hunter, can you answer that one too?
Well, about the same process as Nate here, honestly. I just had to go to my counselor and talk to them about joining. It was pretty simple after that.
And you too, Omar?
Yeah, just like Chapman, I was originally in band starting freshman year, and, you know, I immediately went to go get switched out. So, yeah, pretty easy process.
And so, what do you do outside of ROTC?
So outside of ROTC, I'm in the academy, so most of my time is taken up by, you know, homework or staying after school to do labs or NHS, stuff like that.
And so what would you tell someone who's considering to join ROTC?
I think I would tell them to go in with an open mind. Don't necessarily have an initial thought of how it's going to be, because if you go in with that, you might expect more or less, so just kind of go with an open mind.
Yeah.
All right, Nate, you too?
Definitely you should do it. It was, one of the best decisions of my high school career, if I'm being honest. Like, I just love the sense of family that you get with it, the leadership skills that you develop, and just the opportunities that come with it. Like, I would highly recommend it to anyone.
Well, it was great hearing what y'all had to say. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to ask some more questions.
Are you sad that you're back to school? Are you overwhelmed with the amount of work you have to do? Do you want to just stop doing school altogether? Well, I can tell you that is not a good idea. You need to stop procrastinating. You have work to do, so you better start doing it. You shouldn't become a super senior. I'm just saying, it sucks. You're already halfway done with the whole school year. Don't give up now. And remember, Conroe Tigers, we start strong, we finish strong.
Welcome back. Now let's get into some more questions with these guys. So, what can students expect to learn while they're in ROTC? We'll start with you, Jeffrey.
Well, for starters, students can expect to learn more basic citizenship skills, such as where you can vote, as well as just how to be a better person, I feel. We learn a lot of good characteristics for you to have, such as trustworthiness, like loyalty, as well as being honest.
You too, Nate?
Yeah, so very similar to what Chapman was saying. Like, it's very leadership based. It's focusing on training you how to be a good citizen and how to take and receive orders, and just a lot more to it. Like, there's a lot you can learn from ROTC.
Well, and so leading off those two, Omar, do you feel like you've improved more as a person because of the class?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like I now approach a lot of things in my life with an open mind. I used to be a very narrow-minded person. Like having to work with others as a team and through leadership kind of tasks, it kind of helped me develop a more broad like mindset into my future. So yeah.
And so, what do you think is the most important thing about being in ROTC then?
I think the most important thing is about showing pride while you're in the program. You you wear a uniform and that like represents the program and the school. So you have to just show pride when you're participating, not only in JROTC events, but also outside the program and school.
And so, Jeffrey, what do you think is the most important thing about being in ROTC?
Well, personally, I think it's a lot about being part of like a family. Everyone in ROTC is pretty close knit. We're very just open with each other. I really value that.
And so, Nate, what do you think is the most important thing about being in ROTC?
I would say probably the leadership abilities that you learn, and like Chapman was saying, the sense of family that's there, because like it's very tight knit, and it's very nice. Like I'm friends with like almost everyone in ROTC. Like I absolutely just love the program.
And so, Omar, how do y'all determine rank?
So we determine the rank in various numbers of ways. So there's officer ranks and enlisted ranks. Enlisted ranks mostly, you go for a board and you stand in front of 3 higher leading cadets, and you're essentially asked questions about like things you should know, such as ranks or how things are positioned on the uniform. So that's mostly on the enlisted side. You go for a board, and if you do well on the board, you essentially get promoted. Then there's also the officer side. That one's a little bit more difficult. You have to have some kind of skills that they're looking for, essentially, and yeah.
Well, it was great hearing what y'all had to say. We're going to take one more quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about what's in store for the future.
Hey CHS Tigers, if you haven't heard the news, our bowling team is in first place. Come support our last district matches on Monday, January 24th and February 7th at 300 Bowl and January 31st at Time to Spare. Here's to our bowlers, Gary Cross, Alexander Lacker, Michael Mason, Luke M., Joe Peso, and T-Wag. Special shout out to our Bowler of the Week sponsor Leah Anderson, who bowled a 75. Leo Club is hosting a book drive during all lunches. Bring your gently used book to lunch in exchange for a sweet treat to help us reach our goal of 100 donated books. All books will be donated to a local charity. Yearbook pre-sales end next week. Anyone who purchases a yearbook from now until January 30th will receive a free hot chocolate kit on National Hot Chocolate Day, which is January 30th. The yearbook only orders a few extras, so don't miss your chance on getting yours this year. After next week, only extra yearbooks will be sold on a first-come, first-served basis until sold out.
This week, we want to congratulate Mr. Modikev for being this week's Teacher of the Week. If you want to nominate your teachers, make sure you go to ktignews.com.
Attention, aspiring debaters! The debate team is having after-school practices starting Monday, January 24th. If you would like to come and see what it is about, come to room 254 after school on Mondays. Our big UIL academic tournament is scheduled for March 25th.
This week's College of the Week is San Jacinto College. San Jacinto College is a 2-year community college system located in the Houston area. It is ranked as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. Find your passion with more than 200 degrees and certificates such as auto collision repair, cosmetology, culinary, real estate, and many more. Students who attend San Jacinto College will also have the benefits of attending smaller classes while saving money with affordable tuition, financial aid, and student scholarships. Balance school, work, and home life with flexible course schedules and get help every step of the way, from admissions and enrollment to financial aid and tutoring. At San Jacinto College, you will have a clear path to success.
To close out today's show, we're going to be talking about what comes next after high school for these guys. So let's get right back into some of these questions. So we're going to start with you, Jeffrey. How do you plan to incorporate ROTC into your future?
Well, for one, I'm going to college after I graduate high school, so I'm going to use the leadership as well as basic skills taught me by the ROTC. I'm going to use that going forward, apply it to my college life, and after that, my career, and just build off the skills I've learned.
And so this will be kind of like an open-ended question, but has any of you got any scholarships at all?
Yes, I actually have. So I got a full ride scholarship to Pomona College, and so yeah, and I would say a lot of that relied on my essays, in which I talked about, the leadership within ROTC. So
That's great. That's actually really good. And so, will any of you be continuing your ROTC journey after high school? Specifically, let's start with Nate.
After high school, I'm actually going to be enlisting in the Army. So I ship out in the summer, and then I'll go train. And my job in the Army is actually going to be basically what I do in KTIG, just in the Army. But once I'm done with that, I might switch over to officer side, going college level ROTC.
What is that job specifically?
It's public affairs broadcast specialist. So yeah, basically pretty much everything in KTIG, just in the Army. So like there's an Armed Forces news network that we run, that kind of thing.
And so Hunter, you too. Will you continue your ROTC journey after high school?
I plan to. I'm going to a school where there's an Army and a Navy ROTC, so I'm not very limited. So I'll definitely be choosing between one of those two to continue my ROTC.
And Omar, will you be continuing it at all?
I unfortunately will not. I'm more of like going to stick to the academics kind of stuff, and so yeah.
Have you enjoyed it during your high school years?
Oh yes, most definitely. I've learned various amounts of skills and just met a lot of great people, and I feel like those people are people I could rely on even after high school. So,
What's the most important lesson y'all have learned in ROTC, if any one of you wants to start that?
I think probably mine would be just character building, because like I've improved so much as a person since I've joined that I don't think I would have learned those lessons any other way.
Well, my most important skill I've learned is time management, as well as how to be an effective planner. I used to be very disorganized and just kind of do it, snap of the finger, but now I'm a bit more.
All right, you too, Omar?
I think probably working with a team. I think when you're working with a team, you're around a lot of different minds, and you have to know how to efficiently incorporate those minds into whatever you're working. So it's probably a valuable lesson I've learned.
Well, that is all the time we have for Real Talk. To all our guests, thank you guys so much for being here to talk about what it's like to be an ROTC here at Conroe High. And make sure to stay tuned in for next week's episode for another episode of Real Talk. Also, don't forget CHS. Be the reason someone smiles today.